This is real race talk from Texas. It's the Revved Up Sports Show. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah. Live from Austin, Texas. This is indeed the show that started it all. This is everybody's favorite Monday pastime, the Revved Up Sports Show. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee, the Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez. We are live in studio as we are every single Monday.
Hello, friends.
You like that live, right? I still don't think people understand we do this live. If you catch it on a podcast, yes, that is a reproduction. That is a recorded version. But if you listen to us on Monday nights at 6:30 on all the multiple platforms that we have out there for the world to enjoy, it is LIVE live, straight live, right to you, to your mental earlobes, all that good stuff, ready to rock and ready to roll.
Straight live, homie, and that's why so many times when you listen to this, I mean, that's why there's hiccups in here, why we have phone problems and all that. I mean, it's real easy to go in there and fix all that and make it better, but we don't do that. I mean, even on the podcast, you know, with the audio only, because this show was audio only at one point, we don't go in. We don't fix that. It's the beauty of the live part. I mean, what this really is, I mean, seriously, Bobby, this is like a radio show, but we happen to have a camera or two over there that see, because we don't fuck around here. We got two cameras in here, and there's another one over there that's not working, that's not plugged in, but and another one over there that's not plugged in. But anyway, but we're full service here. You know, it's like the old days. You know, if you're old enough to remember when you went self-serve gasoline, that's what you do now. Full serve, they used to do it for you. Right here, we're full serve. We do it all for you on this program.
Really?
He's like, huh?
No, I'm trying to mess with the Facebook feed like always. Everybody wonders what I do, and I try to get the Facebook feed loaded so I can read questions and get everybody up to date on some of the stuff that we talk about on the show. But
no, we got a good one today because coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to talk to Ryan Doyon. That's a dude, second generation racer right there, doing his thing, getting out there kicking ass, doing what he does, becoming a real factor around the area over here. Chris Walters joins us. I like that, the resurgence of the ASCS Gulf South region. You know, kind of with COVID and all that really hit them pretty hard. They kind of had to step away. And then later on, James McCreary, all of that happening right there on the program tonight as we dive in, and your questions and comments throughout the show as we talk about, because I did have somebody reached out to me and said, hey, I posted a comment on Facebook and you didn't respond. And I'm like, well, we're live. And he said, he called me and he's like, you say you're live, but you didn't respond. I'm like, well, I'm like, your comment was stupid. So I didn't respond. But anyway, it's like one of those things when you go to a business seminar, no question is too stupid that won't be answered on this program, because that's what we do. I mean, we're just here to talk racing. That's what we do every damn Monday.
Every Monday. That's what we do every Monday.
Every Monday.
Still can't get this damn thing to work today.
So let's dive in here.
What is your question of the week there, sir?
Let's go in here to the question of the week, and I have some music here. There it is right there. Look at that. How about that?
That's good.
It's coming. It's coming. Russ, hot topic question of the week. Wilkesboro, and this is for the dirt track people as well. This is short track racing in general. Wilkesboro, how big was it for short track racing now and after? What does this do for all of us that go out and bust our humps each and every Saturday or Friday, whatever it is, go out to the short tracks, this added exposure that we got from North Wilkesboro? What's that going to do for us? What's that going to do for short track, for the pavement people? I mean, I know we kind of hone in there to some of the dirt track stuff, but what does this do for all of us?
Are you talking about before or after the ass whooping?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Now and after. Bobby, come on, dude. Read that. Now and after. This guy. What am I going to do with him?
I got like 4 screens. I still can't get what I want to
put. What am I going to do with this guy? So what does that do for us? I mean, seriously, I talked to some friends today that I know one of the things we really dove in on the Saturday radio show, and we're telling people, and it seems like every time that Bobby and I go in there and try to sell a short track race on the FM show,
it turns into a snoozer.
It's a turd floater, man. I mean, each and every time. And with this, I do think that a lot of this was that, the excitement. People were really happy to be there, and I think that that's a really good thing. I mean, I think that's a good thing. But what does this do in your opinion? We saw, for one thing, we saw a racetrack come back to life. And I talked to a friend over the weekend that said, "Hey, so are you saying we need to go wake up San Antonio?" I'm like, "Well, you better know Marcus Smith."
Yeah, better try that. And you better get you got the text I sent you, right?
Yeah.
With all the money that was done.
Yeah.
$18 million allocated to North Wilkesboro Speedway in Wilkes County.
Yeah.
To get that place up and running. So Marcus Smith had the desire for it. And then he had 18 million reasons of motivation to make it happen too.
Yeah, and I think that was a big part of that to where I really think it was a lot for him to try to make good with some of the race fans that have stepped away and done whatever. And is that going to bring people back? I don't know. I doubt it. I think a lot of it is, folks may have tuned into that. Maybe that didn't catch all the other stuff during the week. To me, and I knew this was going to be the case. To me, the ASA race and the Cars Tour, that was the best that you're going to find.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, when you get Bubba Pollard getting out there and racing and beating the hell out of the Cup guys, to me, that is the best statement you can make for short track racing right there. And I've even had folks reach out and say, "Well, Bubba Pollard's not really a short track guy." Well, yeah, he is. Yes, he is. He is the best statement that we have for a short track racer. And what he did, I think that's a great thing. And the Cup race, yeah, maybe it didn't deliver. The truck race was good. To me, the Open was good. I mean, the Open did everything.
Actually, I like the heat races on the wet weather tires. I thought those were great.
I agree. And it all came back to with that. I don't like those lights and the bumper light. No. Come on, man. It's a different time. It's not 1996. I mean, we have moved on from that point. And again, yes, I know it's not that, but I don't know, dude. I'm so torn on this. I don't think we need to be racing point races right there because, seriously, this looked like just another short track race with this race car. The problem to me right now, as I texted you this last night, the problem to me is the fucking race car. It is way too good. This car is way too over-designed to be able to run on these places. I mean, you can get in there and you can move every piece of that car around to make it. We talked about grip and tires and all this. It wasn't even a problem. It was never even a problem in that race yesterday.
No, it wasn't. I mean, that car has learned to take a beating. What is it? Rolex? Is it Rolex? Take a licking and keep on.
That's right. Yeah.
This car has been, as you said, over-engineered. They have reduced they went through the R&D center. NASCAR is allowing the team to put gussets on the right side of the car for the side impact, and they're allowing them to take more bars out of the front to increase the impact zone because they just design. Everybody hates this damn car, but they designed way too good of a car.
They did. I mean, it's way over designed for what we intend to do. I mean, for stock car racing, and again, it's not a stock car, but we go back to the origins of this race car. It's a supercar. I mean, it's what this is. It's a road racing car. And what do you do with road racing cars? You sit there and you tweak every freaking inch of the corners of this thing to make it better. It's not so much about the motor. And I see people going back to, cut the horsepower and all this. No,
they ain't gonna do that either.
That's not where you need to make the changes. Where you need to make the changes is to make this car struggle, and it doesn't. I mean, the car doesn't struggle because it's a damn good race car, and it's something that look at the history. Where is this car struggling? It's struggling on the short tracks. And that's not what it's intended to do, and that's part of the deal right there. And are they going to go in there and try to fix that? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. And this is part of the problem with it. I'm just glad that you had the Wilkesboro, that you had the field, that you had all of that. I mean, to me, that's the most important part of this for me, was that you had the great atmosphere, and it wasn't a circus atmosphere whatsoever. And
it felt about like the Revival, actually.
It did. Speaking of circus, I got to check in my man right there, Jeff Havley, checking in, because that is one talented individual right there. Got to know him back in the DCRST days. His son Chase, who is off doing really, really cool things at the moment, and we're still sitting here doing this. But this wasn't a really dumb thing at all. I mean, it was just a good thing, and it felt like a short track race to me.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I think that the heat races kind of lined up in it, made it feel like a short track race. I just think that if you don't have the Kyle Larson ass whooping, everybody has a completely different take on this race.
Yeah,
but they sure were bitching. How many people did you see on social media said, "Boy, I sure would like to see a caution right now. Sure would like to see one of them stage breaks." I kept picturing one of that Dave Chappelle with the cocaine deal. Well, you got any more of them stage breaks happening?
Well, and this is where we go back to, I mean, even the thing with Bubba. And I know
that's getting blown out of proportion.
That is a touchy subject. I mean, and it's all the people that don't watch the damn races. Again, man, hell, dude, I watch every week. I watch everything, and hell, I missed that. I mean, I may have had a Bud or a
I didn't
Miller Light or two.
But Bud Light's on.
No. Miller Light's not good either. I may have had a Coors Light or two.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can't. Coors Light's the only one you can drink now.
That's right. But I missed that. I totally missed that. But there's a lot of people honing into that. You know, whatever. I mean, I don't care. It to me, good for him. I mean, Bubba drove his ass off, and it with the Bubba Wallace or with the Kyle Larson ass whooping thing, dude, he didn't start on the pole. He drove his way through that. If you're a real short track racing fan, you should have enjoyed every bit of that, because he drove his ass off and made his way up to the front and then drove off from the pack. And I think that's the main thing that should be taken out of this. And again, it's, we're going to sit here and learn this thing. I don't know, dude. I was so excited going into the race. Like I said, we oversold it, and the racing was good behind him. Mm-hmm. I'll say that.
Yeah, it was good racing behind him. I don't think we oversold the hype for the race.
Mm-hmm.
We oversold the end product at the end of the race.
Yeah. And that's, it's one of those things. I mean, you can do that all the time. I mean, I've gone out and called dirt track races to where we go out and we see the field of cars that are going to be out there, and a lot of times the alphabet soup is so much better than when you get to the actual feature race. It kind of sucks. It's a nature of the beast right here when you get into this, and I just I hope that. And the bad part is, you and I were talking about this. It's like Darlington was good. Wilkes is going to be good, which I think it was. And then we go to the 600 and, whatever. But back to the question. I mean, how does this all relate? I mean, for all of us, I mean, if we're going to get out there, I mean, for a non-traditional race fan, I mean, is this something that's going to make people want to go find us at the short tracks? I mean, because they saw the tight racing and all this. Is that something that's going to benefit short tracks around our state, our region, whatever?
I don't think the North Royal race resonates as much with the local short track crowd as much as the Bristol dirt race did for local dirt tracks, because it was something running on the dirt at Bristol was something completely different. And it's not something you get every day.
That's
you
right.
see them running on a short track asphalt. The difference is you don't see them doing that at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
So I think that the Bristol race had a lot more impact with the local short tracks, with the dirt track stuff, except that, around here it rained right after Bristol.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go that week after. But I just think that the Bristol had more effect on it. Whereas I think that not everybody has the North Wilkesboro in their background, in their backyard.
Well,
so.
And I think the good part for the Bristol Dirt was, I mean, that race, if you got caught up into that and went and found a dirt track in your region what you went to see in your backyard is going to be a lot better, because to me, that wasn't very good, in my opinion. I don't know. But let's talk good dirt track racing. And going to the hotline for the first time this evening, a big thanks to Phil Whipple setting this up for us. One of our guys right here from the southern region of South Texas. Diving in, it is our man, Ryan Doyon. Ryan, how we doing, buddy?
Hi, doing pretty good. How are you? How are y'all?
Doing well, my man. Thank you for taking the time. So, I mean, your thoughts. Did you watch any of that NASCAR stuff? And is that something that helps, us here on the short track side?
I didn't watch a ton of it, honestly. Just kind of followed through social media for the most part. But I would say it helps us short track guys because it just gets more exposure to our world.
I agree.
So Ryan, when you go and try to explain what you do, when you talk about doing your work on the weekends, right, in your various race cars, how hard is it to translate? Do people instantaneously, like us, they just think about what they see on TV with the cup cars? You have to explain, well, no, it's not a cup car, it's a dirt car, it's a 4-link modified, whatever the case may be. Do you find yourself having to explain it that way? Well, no, I race, but I don't race what you see on TV. I race something that's a whole lot closer to what you can get into.
Yeah, that's it. If it's someone that's never been to a dirt track or really any short track racing, then yeah, it's pretty hard to explain. You kind of just, they automatically assume it's like NASCAR, and you kind of have to change their whole perception on what it is and kind of tell them about, you're sliding in the turn instead of going straight and things like that.
Yeah, no doubt. So Ryan, talk about it for you, man. We know Ray, we know the whole history here, but for folks checking in that are just getting their first taste of Ryan Doyon, take us through how this all started for you, man.
Let's see. I guess I technically started when I was around 5 or 6 years old, and I raced quarter midgets on asphalt till I was about 8 or 9. Somewhere around there, and then I think around 14 or so, I got into my first pure stock at I-37, and that was my first dirt experience, and I raced in the pure stocks till probably 2 or 3 seasons till I was 16, 17, then I got into sport mode, limited mods. Then from there, I kind of just went up to modifieds and late model as time went on.
So how many cars do you have now? Is it just the modified and the late model, or do you have more than that right now?
No, just right now for me personally, I just have the modified, and my dad, it's in my dad's shop. He owns all the cars technically, but I have the modified and the late model. In our shop, my dad also has his late model, and my cousin Johnny Walker has his factory stock.
Ah, okay. Lots of different race cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Ryan, let's talk about the modifieds. I mean, that's one. We'd love to talk to you modified guys, because it's one that with the factory stock and everything that we see with that, we know a lot of guys are doing that. Talk about the kind of a two-sided question. One, the factory stock doing what it's doing, but at the same time, you big balls guys still doing the modifieds, because to me the modified, and no offense to anybody, but the modified is really where it's at, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I personally just love racing the modified more than anything else I've really raced so far. I've driven factory stocks, and I don't really have anything against them. It's just not my cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah.
So where is the state of the modified class right now, Ryan? Is it in a resurgence mode? Because we saw a lot of the limited modified sport mod guys move over to factory stocks because they were paying the biggest purse, and Brandon spending 3 times as much money on cars. $30,000-$40,000 on a damn stock car. Yeah. But it's like, is the modified class starting to perk back up again? I mean, we've seen a few guys debut some new modifieds, or is it status quo? I mean, where is it at in your eyes? Is it picking back up?
I think as far as in South Texas, it's kind of been status quo the past couple of years, but hopefully this year is with I-37 paying better payouts with the Royal Rumble mini-series and other races, and Cotton Bowl steadily running modifieds, I think the car counts are at least being steadier this year.
Mm-hmm. And talk about that to me, Ryan. I'm really impressed. Here on the south side, I'll say, because up north, I mean, they have everything that they have. I always, we talk on here. I draw the border at Waco. You got everything north and then everything down south. But like you said, there between 37. The race ranch, Cotton Bowl, I mean, all of that. Things are looking really damn good down here on the south part of Texas for dirt track racing.
I think so. I think all the tracks having consistency and just sticking pretty similar in all the rules and working together for at least somewhat, I think it helps a lot. And I think, I don't seems to me the car counts have been a little steadier and up this year than the past years.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about 37 for a minute. Obviously, you have the direct connection there, right? But it seems like we talked about North Wilkesboro being resurrected from the dead. Obviously, this is not not a foreign concept to you guys over at I-37. I mean, you had to go in and replace all the boards and broken glass and all that stuff. But I guess it's been in operation now 3-4 years under your family's control. Talk about the resurrection of that place. I mean, it's not an easy drive to get to. It's 40 miles from San Antonio, but it seems like, this, especially last season into this season, it's got a good footing and it's got a lot of good dedicated racers to it.
I think so. It's definitely taken a lot of work. It's been a long process really to build up the car counts and just the place, cleaning it up and getting it to the shape that it's in nowadays. Not that it's a world-class facility by any means, but it's come a decent ways. And I think it's, it being around and people knowing it's not going away and then being steady and running it the past few years, I think it's helped people be motivated to come to the track every week.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan, how hard is that for you? I mean, looking at it on the backside, like Bobby said right there, that's part of your family right there. And I mean, most racetracks are going to be a family, centered operation. But some of the frustrations and all that, I mean, how do you guys deal with it? I mean, because it's very rare that people have a good thing to say. I mean, you can do 9 things right, but it's the one thing that is wrong or not wrong, but the one thing not that they want, and they fucking blow you up. I mean, how is that for you guys on the backside?
Yeah, it seems that way, and just seeing it from my perspective, I don't really get anyone yelling at me, but just seeing my dad go through it, it seems like most people it's mostly negative comments. Not many people come up with nice things to say, which it makes it nice to hear it when people do, but a lot of people seem to have negative comments. Or I don't know, it makes it hard being family. You just try to stay out of everything and stay neutral.
That's right.
And it gets harder, but like Rodney said, it's a family thing. For most racetracks have at least one family member racing. Obviously, you guys are sprinkled throughout over there down at I-37. But talk about the family element for you guys. I mean, obviously, you said your dad owns all the cars. He's got a couple of late models here and there, and some other cars in the shop down there. But I mean, it really does boil down to family. I mean, you guys were involved in racing before you even thought about taking over I-37. So, you guys have a history of racing backgrounds as it is, right?
We do. For me, I probably wouldn't have gotten started in racing if it wasn't for my dad being interested in it and doing it. That's kind of just what I was around growing up. I went to a dirt track on Friday and Saturday night to watch him. And even before him, my grandpa drag raced, so he was kind of the one who started it all as far as racing goes.
Yeah. And Ryan, isn't that really one of the coolest things that when you get to that San Antonio area, we love talking to you guys because, you can go back to Pan American, to Highway 16, to Alamo Dragway, whatever the case is. I mean, it has always been Texas Dirt Speedway. I mean, so many great racetracks that we've seen, and the good thing is, I know that 37 is not in San Antonio, but it's still pretty cool that there is something there that is resembling closer to San Antonio.
Yeah, I know it's not exactly in San Antonio, but it being at least in the surrounding area, it keeps racing alive in the area right now because there's not too much going on as far as other tracks.
Yeah, no doubt.
I guess it is closer to San Antonio than Corpus. Yeah. Given the alternative.
It definitely beats the 2 or 3 hour drive.
That's right.
Only making, 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Ryan, what's on tap for you the rest of the season? I mean, you've got to have a little bit of goal here. Obviously, win a couple of races, maybe find some trophy queens to take home. I mean, you probably got a really good idea of stuff that you want to do the rest of the season, right?
I'll probably try to run the rest of the I-37 Speedway schedule and then try to see if I can run up to Cotton Bowl or South Texas Race Ranch and run in the modified, or if the late model South Series runs somewhere, I'll try to catch a race maybe.
Yeah. Your thoughts? I mean, I really think we've talked about it in the past. Ryan, is it does seem like these racetracks are trying to help each other out, a little bit. And again, I know it's business. I mean, I know it's business, but I think we're on to a good thing right here. I think that we're on a path to where all these racetracks can sustain. Because I mean, the more racetracks we have open, I think that's a good thing. I mean, your thoughts on that as we dive into the second part of 2023?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing too. Just the more options you have to go race is a good thing for me. I don't see it as a problem.
Yeah,
especially when tracks work together. But I know like you said, you can only do so much, and you have to do what's best for your track, but them working together as far as scheduling and rules really goes a long way.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Good stuff, my man. Way to go this year, dude. Hell, even Ray's checking in. He said he can't catch you, so that's a good thing. you're off to a good start, man. Keep doing it, and thank you for being on this program. And let's do it again another time, my man.
Sounds good. I appreciate that.
You bet, man. Take care.
You too.
You bet. There goes Ryan Doyon. And, man, soft-spoken man right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's like, he calmed me down. It's like, all right, I like that. And he's really good. He's really good and really smooth. And
I should have told him to come see me this weekend in Texana.
Oh, that's right. I mean, talk about that. And that's part of one of the things I wanted to talk about. We got some really big shows that are coming up this weekend, on the south portion of Texas, like we talk about. I mean, obviously, you got Texana, the Race Ranch coming up on Sunday. Marianne has her show. Isn't it funny with when we refer to Cotton Bowl, it's like Marianne. It's like when you just call it the 500, it's like Marianne. But, man, we've got I think that Texana is going to be a good one.
It's going to be fun. First time the race in a couple of weeks. Had 3 straight rainouts, so everybody's giddy to get down there, and everybody's giddy to get racing. I'm ready to go. In fact, I'll be posted up down there at the Texana campground again all weekend for Memorial Day.
Go see this guy. Free beer. Go see him.
If you can find me, I'll get you some free beer at the campground, not so much at the racetrack. I don't have that much pull over there.
That's right. Texana needs a big weekend. Because it really has. I was joking with some folks on Friday. Went all the way down to Waco, got rained out, and it's like everywhere that I go, I'm getting rained out, and joking about myself, but I mean that really has been the case. And Texana's been the one. I mean, to me, where it went, God bless. Every damn big race they have, it's like something happens right there, and man, that place was submerged for the last one. I mean, they need a big show. Really big show. Brandy Torres checking you out. She's looking for you.
Wait, which one?
Brandy.
I know which stream. I'm not on the right.
Oh, I don't know where I'm at. I just see everything. But
she said she'll find me.
Well,
they're going to come running up to the tower now while I'm announcing. I won't know where their free beer is.
Yeah. He stands on the perch if you're looking for him. He's right there on the perch.
But I can't give away free beer while I'm announcing.
Tell him that you take cash, Brandy. Tell him cash works. And then go drop that thing into, I love Texana where the kids get to shoot that thing.
Oh, in the recycle bin over there?
Yeah, that's right. And don't forget, June the 24th, you want to make your way out to Texana because it's myself against Lawrence and Howard Willis. Woo! And man, I saw Chuck Perry or Chuck Barber is showing up. We're gonna have some fun out there. It's gonna be a good time.
That's gonna be a big show too. As long as it don't rain for that one. That last Pure Stock challenge they did with 105 coming over and stuff like that, they had a whole lot of fun there. So.
Yeah, should be a good time. But looking forward to the weekend. I think that part of the cool part of Memorial Day weekend is that you do have these big shows, and they're able to, a day off for a lot of people on Monday. So to be able to put these together, there's High Dollar. I mean, you look over there, Arklatex. I mean, all these racetracks. I mean, they're doing really big things. With Heart of Texas, they're racing on Sunday, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing, and it's going to be a fun weekend, I think, coming up.
Well, it's got to be. The weather's looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the tracks has been snake bit with the weather. When you take into consideration, Arklatex has had almost as bad a luck there as Texana has when it comes to weather. But yeah, definitely. I just think the tracks. The Race Ranch is another one that needs to get a good solid race in there. They've had some weather. I mean, they've had a few more races than Texana has, but. It's going to be fun. It always is. The Southern United Sprint Cars put on a really good show there at Edna, as well as down at the Race Ranch too. But that track is more prone there in Texana to just really good, solid racing there, whether it's a late model or a sprint car. It's just fast enough to be fast.
Yeah. That's right. And it's always a good show. And a lot of times, like I talk about with Waco, I mean, all they do is they put sprint cars on the marquee, and that brings people. And I think that's the cool part right here. This is a weekend to where you can do something like that, and you're going to have people that want to come out and just be entertained. And I think it's going to be a fun weekend. And the whole thing is, I mean, to me, hell, I love the big races. I mean, with Monaco and Indy and the Coke 600. This is a race fan weekend. No matter what you're doing, whether it's mainstream or local, everything that you want is right there.
That's right. And usually the shows don't drag on, so you can go to bed at a decent hour to wake up with your mimosas there from Monaco, and then you get your beers and brats going about 11 a.m. there for the start of the Indianapolis 500. And then you can go on and finish your day out with your beverage of choice, adult beverage of choice there with the Coca-Cola 600.
Yep, no doubt. You guys stick around. Lots more to come. Loaded. #Real Race Talk. Revved Up Sports Show live on Monday. More to come.
They're back again this year, and they're off to a great start. Generation Race Cars, located in Springtown, Texas, continues to offer new chassis body combos all the way to turnkey sport mods and limited modifieds. All cars are built the same as you've seen in Victory Lane with drivers like Alex Hickam, Jeff Shepard, and Dean Abbey. All customers are valued and treated equally, so why not join the winning team? Justin Long is committed to giving each and every customer the time they deserve, along with a commitment to bring quality into every build. If you're ready to join the team, give the guys over at Generation Race Cars a call today at 817-528-2947. You put a lot into your racing program, so why not take it to Victory Lane with Team GRC?
Hi, this is Tom McKay with Audiovisual Consultations. Scientific data proves it. Size does matter. The bigger and wider your television is, the better. Football season is here, and the time is now to get your entire audio-video experience tuned up and ready. New flat screens, projection video, Dolby True HD surround, all the goodies at great prices and followed up with great service. So call us at 255-8678. That's 255-8678 or on the web at avconsultations.com.
Hey racers, Phil Whipple here with the Revved Up Sports Show. For the past year, you've heard us talking about our partners over at Generation Race Cars. I'm proud to say they're back again this year, and they're off to a great start. Generation Race Cars, located in Springtown, Texas, continues to offer new chassis body combos all the way to turnkey sport mods and limited modifieds. All cars are built the same as you've seen in Victory Lane with drivers like Alex Hickam, Jeff Shepard, and Dean Abbey. All customers are valued and treated equally, so why not join the winning team? Justin Long is committed to giving each and every customer the time they deserve, along with a commitment to bring quality into every build. If you're ready to join the team, give the guys over at Generation Race Cars a call today at 817-528-2947. You put a lot into your racing program, so why not take it to Victory Lane with Team GRC?
I was trying to figure out what song it was, but I guess I figured it out. Back live, Monday edition of the Revved Up Sports Show. Good talk with Ryan Doyon there. One of the young up-and-coming race car drivers, both at I-37 and are in and around South Texas. So a good conversation with him and the talking about the state of family racing there. So it's been a good conversation so far tonight. Good discussion.
Always a tough thing right there, because you always have, when you have someone that is related to the promoter, the operator, it's always a tough thing to be a part of. And, I want to applaud I-37 because I think that's one of the racetracks to where with Ray and those guys, they've done a really good job to just dive in there and make it better. I mean, there's a lot of things that they've had to deal with. I mean, I know at one point, it was track prep and all of this. I mean, it's been one thing after another. And there's been other things too. I know that there's always something. There's always something, and it's just like with NASCAR, like we're talking about. There's always going to be something that folks are going to be on the ass of the operator to beat them up about, and it goes back to as many times as we talk about it on this show. I mean, put yourself in those shoes, and it's a lot to take on. I mean, it's a hell of a lot to take on. And yes, I get it. I mean, I totally get it when you're on the other side of things. But at the same time, sometimes you need to walk in the shoes of the folks that are operating these places, and it's a bitch, man. There is no other way to put that. And seeing like Owen, Owen Pittman, I knew this was happening there, where Owen Pittman is taking over Houston. He's been doing the damn thing in the first place. I mean, but now, this dude is operating 3 racetracks. Are you kidding me?
3.
The good thing is where I do take a lot into this. I want to call out, you were talking about Texana. One thing that Owen has that is, I think is really good for him is Court Beard, the owner at Texana, is if I were going to operate a racetrack, that's the freaking guy that I would want to be my owner, because he's now hands-on and has a good understanding of what has to happen.
Yeah, it's been great working with Cord and seeing his hand stretch over the speedway, just because it's such a good fit down there for everybody. But it just needs a good race, man. I mean, it just needs to get a good solid race in there, because the bills are still due when the race ain't on. I don't think people forget that, or sometimes we'll forget that the rent check's still due, the electricity bill's still due, and everything else. When these racetracks aren't racing due to Mother Nature or whatnot, that's a big financial burden on these racetracks. It's not just Texana; it's all of them. Yeah. So when they're not racing, and even Waco that didn't get a lap in still had to probably pay at least a little bit of money to their staff for Friday night.
Yeah, no, it's a very tough deal. When that all comes down to doing all of that, and the rainouts and all of that. I mean, I was talking to somebody over the weekend, and they were talking about, well, yeah, why don't you guys just start racing in June? Race June through May. I mean, but the whole thing is, we want to race here, or you guys want to race, February all the way through the end of the year. So it's a tough thing, and every no race is a loss, and I think it's better these days that people are starting to understand that. But still, it's a work in progress, and these folks are busting their ass to try to give us a place to race.
They really are, and I think, and I don't think it goes as unappreciated as it once was. I think people understood it. I think that 2020 was a turning point because it kind of rekindled everybody's love for racing. Because there wasn't shit else to do. When you were either stuck inside or you were stuck outside at a racetrack. So there wasn't much else to do when all the other sports were non-existent. But I think now that the challenges are back to what they used to be, where you've got baseball in town, you've got football, even though, you still got USFL on right now, which is producing some relatively, there's nobody in their stands either, but produces some really good football for television. Yeah. But it becomes a challenge with this summertime. Kids got to go on, the kids are going to want to go on summer vacation. Family's going to want to go on summer vacation. So it's just the same challenge as it once was. But I think the racetracks have learned the resiliency, if you will, for learning how to make some of that stuff happen because of the way the pandemic did. So I think it changed the business model enough to where it's kind of working now these days when they don't have as much going on, with all these rainouts. So
I do want to go back to this, Bobby, to the question right here, and how big was it for short track racing, whatever. And I do want to tailor this back to the asphalt part. We talked about with Bubba, with Pollard winning that race, with seeing everything that we saw, with the Cars Tour and all of that. Your thoughts on that? I mean, because to me, the Cars Tour is kind of the way of the new right now, to where everybody's resorting to the late model stock car. And again, we as Texas race fans remember the limited late models. That is exactly what a freaking late model stock car is. Seeing that right now, but and seeing all of the folks moving over and folks being excited about late models, and we still go back to that, with the ASA cars and with SRL and all of that. Is that something right there with the Cars Tour, with ASA at Wilkes? Is that something that's going to help short track racing moving forward? I know I've talked to a couple of people, with SRL about doing some races. They race on Wednesdays. I mean, there's some Thursday dates and all that, and they pack the place up north. Seriously, is this something that can help all of us seeing the late model guys beat the Cup guys?
I think it bodes well for the series. I think when you have the new four investors there with the Cars Tour, with the Cup guys, Jeff Burton, Justin Marks, Kevin Harvick, and Dale Jr. being the ownership group. Kevin Harvick said the reason that he wanted to race in the Cars Tour, especially at North Wilkesboro, one was the experience of it, and then two, he wanted to try to gauge what it's like to be a competitor in the series so he can make a good decision based on the competition side when it comes time to changing any kind of rules or anything, which I don't think they're there to reinvent the wheel. No. By no means. When you're getting, 45 plus cars to an event, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel on that because of the fact that it's pretty damn successful. Well,
and that's the whole thing. I think with that, I mean, you don't go in there, you don't overthink this, and I think I've got a lot of friends that work on that ASA series, and I think they're overthinking things because with the Southern Super Series, they were doing a lot of good things, but they've gone in there and to me, they're kind of they're letting that ASA thing be too big, and I think that's hurting them.
No, they got growing pains, for
right?
Sure.
And that's where I hope the Cars Tour doesn't relegate themselves into being. I hope they don't realize how badass they are because that's part of the problem.
I think that's part of it. Yeah,
that's part of the problem. Back to the hotline. So we're talking about series that are resurging and coming back and so forth, and diving back in ASCS Gulf South region. Really good series, and now it's back. It's back as well. On the hotline is Chris Walters joining us. Chris, how we doing, buddy?
Oh, how's it going, guys? It's going pretty good.
Man, thank you for diving in here, man. So talk about the history of this thing. It's so much these days, like Bobby was talking about with pandemic and with the pandemic and all that, that really messed up a lot of things. Talk about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so like you said, it's really great. It's been around for a long time. When the Johnsons had it, and then when Bruce had it. It was a really great series. I mean, if you look at just the Outlaws now, you can just name probably a handful of guys that were in that series or ran in the series. And so it's just a good thing to have back in the series and in Texas, in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, I love it. Been around it my entire life. So it was kind of like a split. Well, I wouldn't say it was a split decision, but it was kind of like I was thinking of getting into doing some promoting and
Right.
looking into doing some things. And I got on the phone with Terry and I said, hey, what do you think about doing this? And it didn't take us 15 minutes to be like, man, let's do it. So he was ecstatic. He was excited. And then when I called him last week and told him, hey, we got a date. And he's like, do what? He's like, yeah, we got a race. So we're ready to go race on July 22nd at Texana.
I love it.
Well, that'll be fun. I'm sure I know who's probably might try to be the announcer for that race, but hell, it's probably going to be me. So talk about you said it came together real easy in 15 minutes, but it had to be more complicated than that, right? You didn't just jump off the edge and say, well, hell, here we go with both feet, right?
No, it wasn't that easy. I mean, the phone call was pretty clear on what I wanted to do and what he was looking for. It was a quick conversation, but between then and now, it's been pretty hectic. I work, 60, 70 hours a week, and then you add another 30 to 35 hours a week doing this series stuff. It gets pretty hectic, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it between calling tracks, getting in touch with drivers. The main thing is, I was more surprised that how many drivers were just popping out of the woods, man. That either had 360s sitting in the shop that hadn't been running or had motors or getting them built. And we really accumulated a lot of interest really fast from the drivers, which made me get this really early date here mid-season. I was actually looking at not starting until 2024, and then all the guys that were interested just made me push a little bit harder.
Yeah, and talk about that part, Chris, because that's something that we talk about on this show all the time. It's like guys like you that you just, better. You know better than to be jumping into this and trying to run this operation here. But it's something that you do, a labor of love, man. You love the racers, you love the sport. Just talk about that for you. What's it mean to be bringing this back, and hell, already with a race date in place there at Texana?
Yeah, I keep using this for everybody I talk to, but it's kind of like cliche and kind of corny, but it's a dream,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't understand. You're just sitting there in the pits or in the stands watching a race, and a lot of people don't even realize, what they could do with potential and with the love of it. And for me, I've been doing it for so long.
Yep.
This is just something I've always wanted to do, and I had the ability to do it. I talked to my wife. My wife was
smart man
100% behind me. yeah, she was 100% behind me, and so and my family's excited. All racers come from a huge racing background, so everybody's excited, and I'm super excited and just busting ass at it, man. It's been a whirlwind. The last 2-3 weeks has just been crazy, but I'm loving it, man.
Dude, that's awesome.
Well, she's behind you now. That's what we all start with, the support, and then those late nights she's going to be like, "Why are you up so late? Leave them damn racers alone." So, in terms of getting the series up and running, though, you talked about everything kind of falling into place, which is really cool. Have you got any other dates set on the calendar other than the race coming up at Texana?
So right now I've got. I was looking at August date at possibly Cotton Bowl, but it looks like I'm going to be pushing that probably towards September. So I'm looking at possibly 2 dates in September, which would looking like it's going to be Cotton Bowl and 105 Speedway. I haven't locked those down yet, but just waiting on the ins and outs and the agreements and stuff like that. But it's really looking like I'm going to end up with 3 races this year, possibly 1 in November, but I'm shooting for 3 this year and then a full slate next year.
Mm-hmm. And talk about that part, Chris. I think folks don't understand when it comes to a touring series. I mean, something like this that doesn't have a home track. Maybe you have a home track, kind of your base right there. But negotiating all of this, it's a man. There are so many things that you have to factor in right here. It can make or break whatever you're trying to do for yourself and for the race teams that are going to be traveling to go out and race.
Right. Yeah. So I would say the most difficult part for sure is talking with the tracks, and you feel like every day you're annoying these guys and gals and
blow them up.
They by this time now they've already got my phone programmed, my number programmed into their phone, so they know what I'm calling. There's been really great conversations between Owen Pittman. Man, he was great in getting the deal worked out. Marianne, of course, she's always wonderful to work with and talk to, so she's been really, really helpful as well. Joey Smith and Jesse McNorton, always as well, very helpful in helping me through this process and trying to get these race dates. It's early in the season, mid-season,
sure,
but trying to put a tour together, a series together while racing season's already started is hard as itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
So where are most of your racers, your initial group that's coming from? Is it the same kind of Houston, greater Houston area, southern Louisiana? Just picking and choosing a couple of guys. I mean, where's your core base probably going to come from?
Yeah, basically that core, South Louisiana, Houston area. You got them in, Beaumont, south of Dallas, out west, even some in the south, and, the Alvin area, further south than that. They're really spread out. There's not any centralized group of guys. They're all spread out.
Yeah. And Chris, isn't that the one thing, that when it comes to sprint cars, a lot of folks, you got the World of Outlaws, whatever, but when it comes to dirt racing and sprint cars, people see a sprint car show and they just want to come out. It doesn't matter if a 305, whatever. They just want to come out right there. That is a hell of an appeal right there. And, man, I think you're on to something really good right here once again with the series.
Yeah, I want to do it for the fans, and I want to do it for the drivers, and I want to do it for myself, But I think the drivers just want a place that they can go drive. They want to get them cars out there. They love what they do. I love seeing them. I love being involved. I put everything I have into it, whether it's money, energy, no sleep. Here recently. So, we've hit a couple tracks over the last couple of weeks, just talking to drivers, talking to potential partners. We're going out. This weekend's our wedding anniversary, and we're going to be hitting up racetracks. So that'll tell you something right there.
Oh, my man. I love it.
That's good news. That's good news.
That's good news for
Great
him.
News.
So in terms of big picture, right? Is it still going to be through the American Sprint Car Sanction, or are you guys going to be on your own, or tell me more about that, how that's going to work? Yeah,
so we are going to be sanctioned with ASCS, full sanction points, publications, everything supported by ASCS. Hoosier, anything you can think of through ASCS, I'll have full support from Terry and his guys. We'll be back, full throttle with them, and I'm looking 12 to 14 races for next season under ASCS.
Man, that's awesome. Talk about that right there, because I know on the pavement side, we talk all the time. Man, I wish on pavement there was an IMCA or USRA or an ASCS. How cool is that when you have that in your back pocket right there, where you got people that they're going to cover your ass. And I think that's a really cool thing right there. Just speak to that, to where it's like, okay, they got my back.
Yeah, they, even as busy as ASCS is, man, they're been nothing but supportive, and everything I need, from equipment to publications to social media to anything I need. These guys are on it. They're sitting at a 2-day show in Oklahoma, and I'm sitting here shooting text messages of BS stuff that I need done, and they're getting it done for me.
That's awesome.
Just even the smallest things, a shirt for ASCS officials, crazy stuff you don't even think about that you need for this series. Mm-hmm. They'll put down whatever they're doing at home and help me take care of this stuff. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I love ASS, been around it for a long time. watch it as a fan, love it, and for me, it's all love in it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, you know what? You have a fan. Your number one fan is actually listening on the feed or watching on the feed.
How about that?
And I'll give you a little preview of it. She says she wouldn't want to spend your anniversary any other way.
Look at that.
There you go. Screenshot that so when she gets mad, you can show it to her.
Right.
Yeah. I do things on our anniversary. My wife goes and does her own thing. She leaves town. She's like, you do whatever you have to do. You got a good one right there, my friend.
Oh yeah, she's great. She puts up with a lot with my job, and now with my second job that I don't get paid for.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds like my wife.
We know that right feeling. Yeah,
yes.
we do.
Yes. Yeah. Famous last words of my wife. What does this pay? Not a damn thing.
Right. It doesn't pay anything.
And it's
I ain't doing it for the money.
Right. And it's actually costing me thousands of dollars. Is what it's
actually costing us. It's costing us money. So, babe, I got to go get a third job.
That's right. So the rest of the year, obviously, you're getting fired off here. I know it's hard, when you jump in at this point. So, are you going to be conservative, for the rest of the year? Are you going balls to the wall and trying to get more races set? I mean, with ASCS behind you, man, that's a damn good partner right there.
Yeah, I'm going balls to the walls, man.
Love it.
I've been going at it, pushing at it, calling these tracks pretty much every day. They'll let me know when, hey, stop calling me for a day or so. I'm working on it. And some of it's been done on scratch paper, and some of it's being done professionally. It's just, it's all just being done very quickly and trying to find dates that fit everybody, it's been a whirlwind. And there's also people, I couldn't do it without. We got our sponsors and everything that, we can't do that without.
Yeah. Chris, talk about some of those folks. Because it doesn't matter if it's thousands of dollars or $10, $5, whatever. It takes an army to make this thing happen.
Yeah, for sure. So, I would like to talk about a little bit. We got Integrity Clearing and Mulching, Precision Spray Foam, and a familiar name everybody's going to know, Griffith's Truck and Equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce has been amazing in helping me get through this and help me along the way and advice and everything. And really big help and sponsor for us this season and next season, which I'll make that announcement, is Pipeline MD, Mark Sharkey. He has been amazing along this way. He's actually going to be our title sponsor for 2024. So it's going to be the Pipeline MD ASCS Gulf South region in 2024.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's all right. So when is the first race coming up in August at Texana? What's the date on that?
It's going to be July 22nd.
Oh, July 22nd. I'm thinking
month,
that far ahead.
Yeah.
July 22nd.
Or 2 months, yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, dude. Proud of what you're doing, man. Thanks for being a part of this. And seriously, let us know. I know we were kind of texting right there. Sorry for some of the confusion there on some of that. But reach out to me and let us know how we can help you, dude. I love what you're doing. This is why we race. It's things like this, man. Love to be a part of your program.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for letting me come on the show.
You got it, man. Take care.
Thank you.
You bet. Chris Walters. How about that right there? That, again, here we go again. It's like, I always see stuff where it's like, when folks talk about opening up racetracks, it's like, well, maybe somebody will buy it. No. Nobody's going to buy it.
No.
It is down home racing folks like Chris Walters and like all of these freaking people that sit here and put these races on. He's reviving this series right here. This one's going to be big. Yeah,
that's going to be a pretty big deal.
Dude,
that's going to be a big deal that ASCS is coming back.
And I think it's a really cool deal right there. I'm in sales. I'm in the sales business. And right there where he's saying, and it's like working on this show, it's like I'm going to beat people up until they tell me not to call. And I've got people that block me on their phone. I've got prominent folks in the motorsports business that block me on their phones because I just won't stop, and that's what it takes right there. And I think these racetracks need to dig in there, give him some dates, because it's going to be something that's going to be really big for your racetrack. Again, you said it, ASCS. That's all you have to say right there.
Are you surprised that Owen was the first one?
No, I am not surprised at all.
I'm glad to see Texana being number one, though.
Yeah, no, that is not a surprise at all. I mean, and that's one of those things. I mean, when you get to Owen right there, he sees this, and I think this is something where he can be a part of this. I mean, what he's done, you know, with the late models and all that. I mean, it's innovators. I mean, it's guys like this that are going to make it good. And you know, we can sit here and cry and piss and moan about asphalt racing being gone in Texas and all this, but this is where I see guys like Chris and guys like Owen and Marianne and Ray and all these racetrack operators around the state, James, you know, at Kennedale, to where they're doing shit outside of the box, and they're making their sport better, to where in asphalt, we were like, oh man, this is really good. We got 34 cars this week and the next week and the next week. We didn't do anything different. Now all the tracks are gone. And these people are still kicking ass. Yeah.
We went from having 8 to none.
Yeah.
Well, one, can't say none. We got one with 8 dates. So.
That's right. And I think
not that Houston is done. I think Houston is getting a fresh breath of life.
Yeah, I think things are on the right track right there. But it's one of those things. But I think the power of that right there is, like we talk about with dirt, you know, with IMCA and all of this, is the ASCS. I mean, I think that right there. I mean, and then you add.
All you got to do is just put ASCS on the marquee at Waco, and it's going to get a.
I got to tell you, dude, when I went to Waco and they handed me a shirt that said IMCA, I'm like, damn, I've arrived.
See, you're,
I mean, that's
you're
pretty
different
cool
than me, because I never did like wearing anything that said official.
Oh, I don't care.
Because I never enjoyed the people coming up bitching at me about a call that got made.
I don't care. I play that off. It's like, you know, whatever. And the whole thing is, you know, and that's why I don't wear a radio. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no clue. You know, I don't know. And you know, for a long time, that's one of the things that me and Gina would kind of get crossed up on. She's like, put a radio on. I'm like, I don't want a fucking radio on. I don't want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't need to know.
I want the crowd. I want to build the crowd up on what I'm thinking. I mean, I want them to here's what I saw. This is what I'm thinking. So anyway, yeah, no, I'm not an official. I'm not. No, never, ever do I want that job.
I've only had it once. It was stressful, but it was okay.
Dave Mader, number 1.
Yeah. You've been racing longer than I've been alive, son. Don't play games with my flag, man. That was a horrible conversation.
It's good stuff. But dude, that's if you're gonna get crossed up with someone, ain't nobody better. That's not a lot of people can say that.
Well, you know, it is what it is at this point, isn't it?
To the hotline for the final time tonight. Thank you all for checking in there on the Facebook feed and YouTube. Not sure where everything's going on. Brando, how you doing, buddy? From over in Waco. Going to the hotline for the final time tonight. The Touring Outlaw Modified Series taking care of business this weekend. The man that wound up in victory lane is my man, James McCreary. James, how we doing, sir?
I'm good. How are y'all doing today?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Thank you for jumping on here. Take us through the weekend, dude. Seemed like a pretty damn good weekend for you out at the old Speedway.
It definitely was. It was a special weekend. A guy that helps me, Tony Dykes, his brother passed away, so
man,
they did a little memorial for it out there, and man, it couldn't have lined up any better for us. So all the stuff that happened was kind of crazy, from drawing the 13 pill to redrawing the number 1 pill, and it just kind of all just lined up and worked out perfect.
Man, how awesome is that?
It's crazy when fate has a way to make racing better for us, isn't it? When everything works out like it's supposed to, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, it's great.
So talk about this Touring Outlaw Modified Series. We keep hearing more and more really good things out of this series. It seems like it's kind of taken over for some of the stuff the guys that got, I don't want to say got tired of running IMCA parts, but kind of got a little sour taste for the sanctioning body, if you will, and now running with the different sanctioning with the Outlaw Mods. Talk about the series as a whole, because we're hearing nothing but good things down here about that series up north.
Yeah, it's a good series. John Webb's doing well with it and getting it going. They're racing for good money, $1,500 a night, and good starting money. And you don't have to race every single weekend like the local track especially with a lot of these guys have families and jobs, so it kind of works out perfect for everybody that's in it.
Yeah. And how much of that for you, James? I mean, to me, when you get a guy like Webb that's doing this, and we've talked to him on this show before, you get a guy that's a racer. I mean, it's a guy that understands everything that we go through as race car drivers. I think that's something right there that really intensifies the series better when you have a racer that understands why we do this.
Yes, sir. It helps a lot because he sees our point because he's been there and he knows what the drivers are wanting, and he's putting in a good effort to do that for us all. And I think they're very successful with it. So let's hope it keeps going on.
That's for sure.
So, James, talk about your program that you got. How did you get the people that may not be as familiar with the Tom series and you and that 13J machine? Talk about your background and how you got all the way up to running the Tom series here.
And I started racing go-karts at Village Creek down here a long time ago. Then my dad got me into running the Sims when the Limited Modifieds was the Sims class.
Wow.
That's how long ago.
That's a long time ago.
Damn.
Long time ago when Grand Prairie and Cowtown we used to run every Friday and Saturday, and raced that for about 18 years, and then got into this modified and didn't know anything about it, and got hooked up with the right people, with Tristan Dykes coming on board, helping me out, and he's been a huge help to this program because this is all foreign to me. I'm slowly getting to learn it, but it's a lot more complicated than a sports mod.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And talk about that, James. We from the sport mod side and the modified side, we always ask guys that come on Revved Up, with the factory stocks and IMCA stock cars and all this. To me, the modified, I mean, that really is that's the coolest car to me. I mean, the things that you guys do with all of that. Your thoughts on the modifieds right now, because there's a lot of competition for the class because there's other options in some of these classes, particularly the factory stocks. A lot of money if you want to get in and race one of those things.
Well, yes, there is. They're paying good in those factory stocks, and yeah, these modifieds they're very technical now.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing, and like I said, without the help that I'm getting, I would be lost. So it's nothing like that. It's nothing like the sport mods. The sport mods were easy. The adjustments and stuff on that. You might do a spring here, a spring there, and maybe a shock. But
oh wow,
these limiteds, man, is way different from the bars and all the adjustments that's on it. You can get out in left field real quick.
I bet.
So let's touch on the sport mod, limited modified, pick your poison depending on your sanction. Let's talk about that class for a minute. Is it dying away slowly, or are there enough interest? We've seen a lot of guys cross over from the sport mod over to factory stock and spend more money on a factory stock than they ever did on their sport mod. I guess they're saving a little less on tires now, in theory. But I mean, is right. The sport mod is it's on its last leg? Is it in the middle of kind of a sweet spot where it's starting to resurge again? Where is that class at, you think, as a whole, even up there, and even for what you know from the status of the class down here in South Texas?
I think they still got a good car count with them, and I think it's still good around here. They've done a lot of rule changes, some good, some bad. And they've opened it up. The USRA has opened it up to the B mods and the different tires you can run. So there's options, and you always have IMCA. IMCA is always going to be there. It's going to be, I think IMCA is kind of for your weekly racers that go to the same track, and it's cost efficient. So I don't think it's dying. I think it's going to be around for a while.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because IMCA, yes, they do a great job, but you guys, with Tom's and everything that John and Joe and everybody is doing right there, a really good alternative if you don't want to race every week or you can't and you just want to go out and have a good time. To me, this is kind of, we see an outlaw street stock or whatever. To me, this is kind of for modifieds where the best of the best get together every now and then and just get out there and race their asses off.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, and then you got the ARM series that's running now. So, I mean, there's many options. So, I think it's a good deal for everybody. I'd love to see the ARMs and Toms get together and run a big race. And
Oh, that'd be fun.
Working on all that, but hopefully we can make that happen one day.
Damn.
Talk to Kevin Rogers. I bet he'd have a really good idea about that.
Right. You're right. So I'd love to see it happen.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's one of the ones crazy enough to try that, actually. He really is.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he would for sure. So hopefully we can make it happen one day.
Yep.
So in terms of the Tom series, we talked about how successful it seems like it's successful from the top to the bottom in terms of the way that it's structured. Schedule like for you guys, I mean, is it you said that it has the advantage where the guys that don't want to run every week have the option to. I mean, what's a typical schedule there? Race every couple of weeks? Is that how it's shaking out on the rough?
Like they were on like this last weekend. They're running again this weekend, and they might be off for 2 weeks. Yeah. You know, it's not something every single weekend. Especially me, I got 3 little boys that are in sports, so I try to juggle their sports and my racing, which is tough. Sometimes I can't make them all, but I try my best. But I miss my kids' sports for racing.
Yeah. Good man right there. I love that. So what's your I guess geographical preferences? How far or how close to us will you go? I mean, because depending on how this thing shakes out, I mean, what's your roadmap ideally for you, James?
I think a good roadmap for this area is within 3.5 hours. I think you get drivers showing up. You start getting into the 5, 6, 7 hour range. You start having issues with guys traveling that far.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a good round number. I mean, that makes sense. Towing rigs and stuff like that. 3.5 hours is about right.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do it at Waco. The Toms versus the Arms. That's almost too far though for some of the Arms guys.
That's the equator right there. Is Waco.
Waco, yeah, they race at Waco. They've been there already this year.
Yeah. No doubt. So rest of the year for you, are you going to do it as you can? Do you have them all plotted out? What are you thinking at this point, James?
Yeah, I kind of do what fits my schedule. I'm not committed to the Arms, Toms, just whatever I can make. You know, I'll be at the Toms this weekend because it's close. It's 30 minutes from my house, so I'll definitely be there Friday and Saturday, and then I'll be in Arclitect the following weekend for the Arms race. So they got a good show going on down there, 5,000 to win each night.
Damn. Yeah.
Each night? Damn.
Holy shit.
Night, right?
Oh, man.
So what all do you have to change to go from Arms to Toms? Is there a big change like with the Sport Mod deal, or is it for the big mods? What's it like?
It's tires. You know, the Arms is the US, the KK704s, and the Toms is Hoosiers.
Of course.
So that's the only change is that.
Yeah.
Really? So that would make a really fun race if you could get everybody to work on the tire deal. Mm-hmm. That's a really good idea. I think you're onto something. That's a really good idea.
KR, call us.
Right.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. Great weekend, dude. Congratulations on that win. Thanks for the insight here, because it's like Bobby and I are learning every time we talk to you guys. It's like, damn. We get all these ideas from everything that you guys are telling us, and man, you got a lot of folks checking in here on the feed. Go back and watch us. You've got.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
Wait, there's got to be a story behind this. Somebody, Kevin asked, "Has James ever been camping?"
Yeah, that's got to be.
That's got to be. There's got to be a story behind that, right?
Yeah. What's up with that?
Hey, hang on. Say that one more time. Has James ever been what?
This is James ever been camping?
Camping? No. I have not been camping. Yeah, I know where that one's coming from. Yeah, I haven't been camping.
You travel like me, my friend. you travel like me, my friend. Yeah. If that's the easy answer, yes, absolutely. But good stuff, man. Way to go this weekend, dude. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely, man.
See they got jokes.
Yeah, of course, yes. That always happens. Yeah, folks get on here and their deepest secrets come out, and we get private messages, and I'm like, I am not gonna ask him that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gotta love the racing community.
I'll tell you that's why we do this, man. Thank you, James. Way to go this weekend, dude. Keep killing it, and we'll do it again soon.
Sounds good. Y'all have a good night.
You bet. Take care.
Man, take it easy.
You bet.
All right.
You bet. There he goes. James McCreary, big win there in the Tom series. And that's one of the things I know with Waco, because, Waco, very hardcore IMCA, with the stock cars and everything right there. But, they made the choice this year that they were going to do the Toms. And it's been, it was so frustrating last year because it was, last year, $1,000 to win each and every Friday night, and you would $750 to win for the modifieds, and you would get 4.
Mm-hmm. The only track that realistically has a decent mod count is Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Marianne and them over there.
Again, here we go, Marianne. But and that's the whole thing to where that modified. Modifieds are cool. Modifieds are cool, and it really was. And
they get the people fired up because they're so damn loud. The rooster tails are huge.
They do, and when they lay those cars over on the bars and start doing all that, I mean, there is nothing cooler than watching those guys get out there and race. And I'm just glad that we're seeing a resurgence in that again, and that a weekly show. I think right now a weekly show. It's kind of like we look at with the pavement side. If you can get a weekly show of 10 cars, that's good. I mean, for a modified, and it's just so hard right now to me because I do see it's kind of one of those things about tasting the fruits of other things. I mean, if you've got somebody hanging all this money over you for a factory stock, I mean, what are you going to do?
But a factory stock, some of these factory stocks are costing more than a sport mod or even a big mod.
Well, but people don't want to admit that. I mean, that's the whole thing, to where it's like, I'm going to run a factory stock because it's more cost effective and it's cheaper for me, but you still have that big ass enclosed trailer and you're pulling it with that dually or, whatever it is. And you're spending all that money. You're getting the car purpose built and all this shit. And that's been, to me, the one thing with the stock car classes that we're trying to do on asphalt, or people are trying to do on asphalt, to where it's like, we can't let these things get purpose built, because that's when it's all fucked up, because that's when, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, anytime you try to get something grassroots and it gets purpose built, we've seen that with the outlaw class in the Southeast
all the time.
What went from being a good place for good, solid, used super late model and pro late model chassis, hanging your own bodies, doing something unique, got turned all to shit when they started doing purpose-built turnkey outlaws.
Right, and that's where I say with what SRL has done with the sportsman, they've gone in and they restrict all that shit, and the tire thing and the shocks and all that they have gone in and kind of nipped it at the bud. And I saw it, firsthand there at Mobile, because I wasn't buying into all that. I'm like, you got all these, you got 20 whatever cars out here, it can't be. They're sitting there and they do really restrict all that, and that's what needs to happen with all that, because I really do think, if I were a dirt track racer and I had a lot of money and I could race whatever the hell I'd want to race, like I talk about all the time, Joe Spillman's class, I would run an iStock, because those cars are fucking badass. I love those cars. They look good. They're fast. You can do whatever. You can race them anywhere. There's more flexibility and all this. To me, the factory stock, the rules are kind of a pipe dream when you look at them, because it's like, damn.
Oh, now that the rules have changed up north a little bit,
right?
With the different, you can't take the same car and run all over the place.
Right, and that's a whole thing right there. I mean, I totally understand. I totally understand that's where it's gotten at this point, and the thing is, it's going to hit at some point. It's going to hit that part to where people are going to maybe, and that's where I hope the sport mod hangs around long enough, because at some point people are going to come back to it, because to me the factory stock right now is out of control. So hell, I'll run a limited modified. I don't know, dude. I don't know enough to speak to that.
I don't know. I still think you need a bootlegger in Houston.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, no, man. It. And that's another one. I mean, I see cars that are becoming that have been purchased to race in those classes. It's like, that ain't no stock car. I raced that, and that was a limited, whatever, late model. I mean, I don't know. I ain't getting into that, but it. That's why I race pure stocks in Texana one time a year. I'm like Dale Jr. I race one time a year. That's it.
Yeah, with all that fancy Sundrop money. Okay.
I race one time a year, and that's it. Although DCRST did call me, and they're like, hey, you want to drive the rental? Ty Paxton's old car.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't think I'd fit in there, because Ty is like this thin, and I'm like
All you got to do is put your containment seat in there and you'll be all right.
Shit, that's too much work. But anyway, that's why I race one time a year. But I really think it's a good thing that we are trying to bring these stock car classes back. And I mean, do that, but do it, be conservative. I mean, don't get out there and don't show up over there with a freaking TSRS. Come on, man. That's not the point of this.
Because the bootleg used to have to run the Camaro snout, right? You have to run the Camaro front clip.
It's supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, but you know how that goes, Bobby. I mean, you can run a Camaro. I don't know the in-depth rules of that class, but it could be Camaro front clip, but you can run weight jackers. But you start moving shit around. Whatever. I want the class to grow. And that's where, I think like, and that's why I do like on dirt, like with the pure stocks and all of that to see what they're doing. Cause even like the other night I was watching, at the race ranch, Whitaker comes out, Whitaker the third comes out and that car looks like a factory stock, but it runs like a pure stock.
Like it's supposed to, yeah.
Yeah, like it's supposed to. I mean, it looks really good. It's got a beautiful body on that thing. And he stands on the gas, and I'm hearing it go. I mean, that's what that's supposed.
That's what that class is supposed to sound
That's what that's supposed to be, and that's where I go back to as you filter more classes in. That's where what we see on the dirt. The more popular that factory stock has gotten, it's taken away from the limited modifieds, from the sport mods, from the mods, and all of that. And at some point, it's going to filter all back down. But that what concerns me is as it's taking its. We know this. It's about a 3 or 4 year progression that these classes have. What I hope doesn't happen is as the factory stocks continue to bloom, you don't lose, and you're not going to lose sport mods. You're not going to
lose it. I think there's still enough guys that want to race it. That's a competitive enough class.
Right.
As long as where I think it's going to lose the traction is the tracks that don't have the IMC sanction.
Right. And that's where I do like. I mean, as much as
up north, what is it? You get to change the spoiler if you change the transmission or the rear end or something like quick change.
And that's why as much as I'm a big fan of entry level classes, to me on dirt, like a junior limited or an E-mod, to me that's the route to go. Not the sport compact or the what do they call them? The whatever Hornets. I mean, that's not the way to go because it to me it's like the Outlaw. I mean, it gives. You look at the junior limiteds. We've talked to so many of them on the show right here. It gives that sport mod a place to land when it's outdated. Put a kid in there, let them learn how to race, and to me that's a very.
And I'm the E-mod route versus the junior limited because I think E-mod is a good entry level class for an affordable way. We say entry level. Every time I say entry level, I get Owen in the back of my head saying it's not entry level, it's an affordable, which is not necessarily wrong. You have to have an affordable way to get from the grandstand to the racetrack.
The affordable way to get, I mean, bottom line, the affordable way right now to get from the grandstands to the racetrack is becoming official.
Yeah,
that's the only way because it's going to cost a lot of money. And, the bad thing is, we're our own worst enemies. I mean, the better we get, it's like, well, shit, let me do this to make it better. But what I do like is, and Will Arnold checking in right there. I mean, I agree that the street stocks are the coolest to me. You get the street stocks there at Cotton Bowl because you got every freaking form of fashion car that you can have right there. You got Garral's fucking Camaro that I raced with, and you got Will Arnold, you got all these guys, and then you get a Monte Carlo rolling out there. I know at Heart of Texas with the Outlaw Street Stocks, you get them rolling out there, and it's every form of race car, and it's I'm not going to say the rules are wide open, but it's more of a thing right there where you do what you can do and just get out there and pedal it, and to me, I know I say about iStocks. If I was going to be an iStock racer that I wanted to go race other places, that's what I do. But if I could only race at one track, a street stock at Cotton Bowl or Waco, shit, are you kidding me? That right there is what it's all about. I mean, I was talking to Brandon Spreen in Houston, and he's got an opportunity there to race street stocks or in Wake or at Cotton Bowl, and he's like, dude, I am not going to miss a freaking race day that I can get in there and be a street stock driver at Cotton Bowl. He's like, I just get in there and drive the shit out of these things because it's a good thing. So anyway, I like it. Indy 500, yeah, man. This is the week. It's this is a week that I'll sit probably up very late at night and just go back and watch these races. The 600 to me, 600 is cool. I've seen some good ones, but this is as a race fan, this is a fun week to be a race fan, in my opinion.
Well, I think it leads up to a big weekend. Obviously, you got big shows all over the track. There's all over the place. There are plenty of places near you, near us, that you can go and support your local racetrack on a Friday night, a Saturday night, or even a Sunday night show. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of stuff to do. TV-wise, this is when Fox does the driver-only broadcast. When they do the at-home show there at Charlotte, that's always, for us as broadcasters and announcers, that is very entertaining to us to watch the racers come out of their comfort zone. That's also what made Kevin Harvick learn that he was going to be a really good TV guy. And then Sunday, there's not a better day to be a race fan than Sunday, but the day before Memorial Day. Start your day with the mimosas at 8 o'clock with Formula One. Then transition over to the Indianapolis 500, and then transition over a couple hours later to the Coke 600. I like the way that despite the different sanctions, they know the 1 year that Monaco was a week before the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 felt so damn weird.
It was weird.
But they acknowledge it as being the race fans' favorite day. Formula One acknowledges up next comes the Indy 500. And sometimes they'll even talk about NASCAR. After that, you get to see the NASCAR people.
Yeah. And, I remember, back in the old days, and that's so many of the memories for me, with this weekend that we have coming up is going back and, back in the old days to where it was, you would watch the Indy 500 on tape delay and they'd pop up. Meanwhile, in Charlotte earlier today, it's a really cool day, and the cool thing is now you've got these local shows that are going to be and they're busting it out on Sunday, and take some time right there and enjoy the mainstream shit because it's good. I mean, it's good. Formula One's going to suck. You know who's going to win? It's going to be one of the two.
I don't know if Ferrari can qualify good and stay on the pole. Leclerc's got a shot at winning Monaco.
And you get to the 600, to the World 600. I mean, you never know with that one. Indy's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. That right there,
it's wide open. There's 12 guys that have a legitimate shot to win that thing.
Dude, I sat and watched qualifying this weekend, and whether it was for that final spot, I have never been so intrigued to watch one car miss out, and it happened to be Graham Rahal. So it was like, I mean, I don't have anything against him, but it was like when somebody like that misses out, it was it's good shit. It's good shit. But the whole thing is Sunday, you can catch some of that and then go to your local track and check Race on Texas. I think it's even cooler this year because on Thursday we're gonna get to check out the ASA All Stars. They're gonna be at Hickory. I mean,
is it Wednesday or Thursday?
That's Thursday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
That's Thursday. That's on my ass is off on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be cool. I mean, to me it starts. Actually, it started today because they were on track today at Indianapolis. You sit there and just watch all this shit. And this is a dream right here. This is fun. And there's dirt in between there. It's going to be a fun weekend. Going to be a week and weekend, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely places to go out to support your local racetrack, support the big shows, support the little shows, because you just don't know how long these racetracks are going to be here. It's not every day you get to see a track like North Wilkesboro completely rise from the ashes.
Yeah. And
make it new. You see a lot more tracks closing down than you see opening back up, but it's going to be. This is my favorite weekend of the year. Mm-hmm. Whether I'm announcing somewhere or just enjoying it as a race fan, this weekend is truly what it's all about, and not necessarily that. Just with the competition side, when you throw in all the military stuff,
absolutely,
and everything that goes on, both at the local short track and at the and at the big tracks. It's so damn cool. It makes it really cool to be a race fan.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. I mean, that's a really cool thing that you and I can sit here and spout off and sit here and talk shit every Monday, with what we do and get to go racing and everybody that gets to go to the racetracks and all that. But we do a prayer before every race and all this stuff. But I mean, it's the people that need to be honored this. I mean, I hate to say this weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend. We need to honor them all the time. But this is where you need to take a lot of solace in this weekend and really appreciate the fact that we get to do what we do. Because, I mean, without that, I mean, with the folks that have put their ass on the line and lost their lives, and, you have family that continue to, and I mean, the folks that come back from whatever situation, if something doesn't seem right, and maybe not just with a veteran or military, if something doesn't seem right with somebody, just maybe ask them. I mean, I was pretty bummed out a couple of weeks ago just with work and everything that was going on and other stuff that's fallen apart for me on the racing side, and my wife pulled me aside and she's like, "Are you okay?" I mean, seriously, are you okay? And that's words like that. 3 words. Are you okay? That's something that reach out to somebody if something doesn't seem right. Just we got to take care of each other, guys. That is the main thing with all of this.
That's right.
Yeah. Big weekend coming up. This has been a great show. Ryan Doyon checking in there. Great talent right there with him, with everything that he's doing and will continue to be doing at 37 and beyond. Chris Walters with ASCS, the Gulf Coast. That's going to be cool.
That's fun. I can't wait for that. Can't wait for them to hit the track down to Texana.
Yeah, you get to call that one. That's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I called an ASCS race.
Yep. Touring Outlaw Modified Series, James McCreary, the winner at Grayson County this past weekend, also checking in. So really good stuff, you guys. Find a local short track. Check into some of the mainstream stuff too. It's okay. You can like them both.
It's okay. Yeah, you can like them both. You don't have to tell anybody, but you can watch them both and be all right.
Yeah. And you guys that don't watch the races, damn, how'd y'all see Bubba's finger? Because I never saw it.
Yeah, the guys that never watch anything are the ones that saw Bubba's picture. I don't watch that shit, but I sure saw Bubba Wallace on social media shooting a bird.
I sure saw that finger live next to the beautiful Jamie Little. You guys have a great weekend. Find a racetrack. We'll do it again next Monday or Tuesday, depending on what's coming up. Just keep checking in on the socials. He's Bobby. I'm Rodney. We're going.